My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why. Got out of bed the door. Morning clean, rain clouds on my window, but I can't see it all. Even if I could, it'd all be great with your picture on my wall. It reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Oh, good God Almighty. Lord Jesus, help me. Help me and help these people. Help them, Lord. Help them, help them. Jesus Christ. What's good, people? This is your boy, Matt Mike, coming at you guys with yet another Atlanta Falcons video. As you probably know, uh, another Unleashed coming at you guys. So, depending on how things go, you might unleash the beast or you're not. So, I think this is perhaps one of the most foolish things that I've seen in quite some time. It's getting to a point where it's so bad. It's so bad. That's like you can't even look at yourself in the mirror without like shaking your head. Like it's this bad. As you guys can see on this particular screen, there's been another list. Another one is the list. Boot, boot, boot. Another one on the list. Doot, doot, doot. Another one on the list. Doot, doot, doot. Another one on the list. You just made 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 the list. You're on the list. Everybody on the goddamn list. How about we just put everybody on a fucking Falcon uniform? Every fucking quarterbacks. We don't need fucking 56 man roster. How will you just have 56 goddamn quarterbacks? Excuse me. I'm a little perturbed. Another one on the motherfucking list. 53 quarterbacks. How about we just play three? How about we just play 53 fucking quarterbacks? We don't need a fucking running back. We don't need a fucking offensive line. We don't need a fucking defensive line. We don't need a goddamn cornerback. How about we just sign 53 fucking quarterbacks? Because that's what it seems like the media wants from us. Excuse me for that. But another motherfucker been added to the goddamn list. And excuse me for that. Okay, good God Almighty. It ain't even it ain't even this has nothing, this ain't even got nothing to do with the fact that whether or not it's believable. Okay, it's not even it's not even the fact that it's even believable. It's the fact that we're trying to bring awareness to Atlanta Falcons fans. The shit is fucking comical at this point. It's fucking comical. And I left out quite a few other quarterbacks on this list, but at the very least, we've had 10 fucking quarterbacks just in the last few months of the fucking season that's been tired and say, oh, maybe he needs to be on the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe we need to draft him. Maybe we need to trade for this guy. Motherfuckers have actually stated that they want Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback, Trey Lance, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. Motherfuckers have said Will Levis. So maybe it's not so much of the fact that whether it's believable or not, because I don't think anybody believe this. I'm not, let me say that. Majority of the people probably don't believe it. But a lot of the people do believe it. I say about 55% of the people actually believe this shit. There's only a small majority of people who don't believe it. And the reason why I made it this is because guess who made the list this time? You just made the list, Daniel Jones. You just made the fucking list. Do anybody can we start to see the bullshit? Even that crackhead D-Led had got in on the bullshit. We got a whole defensive coordinator and Ryan Nielsen. We got a whole new assistant head coach at DB guy and Jerry Gray. And this motherfucker decides he wants to make an article about the Falcons trading for Justin fucking Fields. And then we get this bullshit that the Sports Talk ATL, these motherfuckers up here writing another article about whether or not the Falcons are going to sign, guess who it? Daniel motherfucking Jones. It's fucking lazy ass. This is the stuff we talking about, D. Coleman. Bro, it's fucking disgusting to see how lazy this shit is. Anybody who got a fucking free agent or a possibility that you might be gone, guess what? These motherfuckers going on the goddamn list. We just gonna put anybody with nobody even saying that they going to Chicago. Nobody's saying that these guys are going to any other fucking team except for the fucking Falcons. Every fucking quarterback that's on the trading block and any goddamn quarterback that's on the goddamn free agent list is going to Atlanta. Every last one of them. This shit is fucking sad. We need to call these people out for being disgustingly lazy. This shit it's past. And thank you, Terrence. Thank you for the $5 holla. Ritter, the starter, get over it. It's the laziest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's past lazy and it's past disgusting. Daniel fucking Jones. I had this guy coming to Atlanta, okay, as a possible backup, but no, these motherfuckers think these going to come to Atlanta and be a starter for the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, the same guy that couldn't even score a damn touchdown in the playoff game. Somehow these dudes are gonna come and be an Atlanta Falcons and gonna be what, another bridge to a bridge to a bridge? Like, what the fuck are you? Why are you bringing in Daniel Jones? What's the fucking point of bringing in Daniel Jones with a team that is rebuilding, retooling, rebuilding, whatever you want to say it? This is what the Falcons are. What's the fucking point of bringing in a Daniel Jones to be a starter? We could have did that bullshit last year. We could have did that with any other quarterback. If we wanted Justin Fields, we should have traded. We should have drafted him from the beginning. If we wanted Trey Lance, we should have drafted Trey Lance. All of these damn players that have been on the damn list from the very beginning, the trading list, the trading block, all these guys have been on the trading block. The Falcons still haven't done it. But somehow, every last one of these guys are supposed to be Atlanta Falcons. It's the point where D. Coleman said it is lazy and disgusting. And again, thank you, Terrence. That's why I'm so it's so disgusting. It's disgusting to see how lazy these people are. They sell you bullshit dreams and they put out these bullshit articles that have absolutely no realistic value whatsoever. So CBS, of course, everybody knows CBS, and for the most part, they're heavy influence down here in Atlanta. These stupid motherfuckers, okay? These stupid motherfuckers, and they stupid as hell. They the main ones that have ties to these radio shows here in Atlanta, specifically 680 fan and 92.9, like these major shows. It's like, what are we doing? Well, like, what are we? What the fuck are we doing? And excuse my language, but it's like, what are we doing? What's the point of this? So really, how you doing? Everybody, how y'all doing, man? But yeah, Raymond Elder, you wanna know what this is? CBS has Daniel Jones as a top landing spot for the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, so that's like the 10th quarterback that has been tied to Atlanta. Except for the motherfucker that we got at quarterback. They got 10 other quarterbacks that they supposedly supposed to be coming to Atlanta. So it was Derek Carr, Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, Daniel Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, and we could go on and on and on. And these are just the ones that are free agents. The one these guys that have been labeled, you know, top spots in perfect places. That's the crap that these guys are supposed to be perfect places for the Atlanta Falcons. Yet the Falcons had opportunity to get every last one of these guys, and they passed on it. It's like my thing is, why is everybody so willing to just like the Falcons said they're down to two quarterbacks and they're gonna add to the room. Why does that mean that they're gonna add a superstar? Why is it that the Falcons? Everybody keeps saying that the Falcons they're gonna sign or draft a quarterback. They said they're gonna add to the quarterback position. And who said he had a decent like that's the thing is you want they're not tying Tom Brady, they're not tying all the great quarterbacks in the league. They tied all the damn trash to Atlanta. People that nobody fucking wants needs to be the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. Let me repeat that. All the quarterbacks that nobody fucking wants needs to be the need to be the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. They picked the sorriest fucker in the universe to say, all right, the Falcons need to draft this guy. Will fucking Levis, they said he needs to be an Atlanta Falcon. Why don't you hear them talking about whether or not the Falcons need to draft Bryce Young or CJ Stroud? Why is it that? Why are they not talking about the fact that the Falcons need to draft even Anthony Richardson? They're not talking about the best quarterbacks in this draft need to come to Atlanta Falcons. They're giving them the fucking worst quarterbacks of all to say they need to be in Atlanta. And Gardner Minshew can sit his trash ass in the trash too. I will create a pile of dump for his ass can shit right in. Cause he's garbage too. I don't want to hear that bullshit about no Gardner Minshew either. if they can't land Lamar or Justin Fields, we should stick with Ritter. Oh, get the book. Look, oh God. See, this is the main. This is the stuff that really fucking irritates me. It really fucking pisses me off. This is the stuff, and Yanker, whatever the hell your name is, I apologize. Y'all core. If they can't land Lamar or Justin Fields, we should stick with Ritter. I don't have a problem with a veteran coming in and helping him develop. But most important, the trenches. It's like this is, and like I said, we attack statements, not the person. Okay, because obviously these days people got, you know, I'll say that, but obviously these days people are just so damn soft. If you just mention anything closely to their statement, they get in their feelings. But this is the reason why I have a fucking problem with anybody saying if we can't do this, then Desmond Ritter. No, fuck that. This guy deserves a fucking shot. What the fuck has he done to say he does not deserve an opportunity to be our starting quarterback? That's the question that I have for you. What has he done to say he does not deserve to be the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons? And no, we're not talking about Daniel Jones as a backup. They're talking about Daniel Jones for a starter. So get it right, people. Starter. What's the point of even mentioning Daniel Jones in an article if you're going to bring him in to be a backup? There's no need to even write that. So they're not suggesting that the Falcons bring him in as a backup. So again, what in the hell has Desmond Ritter done to say he does not deserve to be the starter for the Atlanta Falcons? Because I want to know. Because obviously everybody else on damn did something that Desmond Ritter hasn't done. I don't remember him throwing 3 picks in the game. I don't remember him being the sole reason why we lost games. So again, why doesn't Desmond Ritter deserve an opportunity to be the starter for the Atlanta Falcons? Nothing more, nothing less. These people don't know nothing about football. Appreciate it, Terrence, with a $2 as well as $10. We are not a quarterback away from the championship. We are not a quarterback away from the championship. Again, for the people in the back, we are not a quarterback from brother. I solely appreciate this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this is gospel. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. This is fucking gospel. This shit deserves to go on the Mad Mike Hall of Fame. This fucking comment right here. And in fact, I'm a fucking screenshot it so I can put it on the Mad Mike Hall of Fame. Because some people just don't seem to freaking get it. The teams that go and make trades for quarterbacks, they have one thing. They have a great defense. Okay? And they have something to build on. You go back and look at the San Francisco 49ers. Anybody know what the 49ers did? They had a damn good defense. They went out and signed Kyle Shanahan as the head coach because they had a foundation of defense long before he got. So they went out, signed Kyle Shanahan as a head coach, one. Then they traded for a quarterback, two, because they didn't have a quarterback. And then you look at the Chicago Bears, another team. They had a great defense for years. They had a great defense for years. Good defense. Good to great. Every year. They had a good to great defense. What did they do? They traded up. They drafted Mitch Trubisky, signed the head coach and Matt Nagy, who's an offensive guy. And then that didn't work out. So they traded, they let Mitch Trubisky go. And then they traded up to get Justin Fields. But these guys have had defenses. Both teams had one thing in common. We got something in common. Yeah, they got a defense. So they made those moves. Furthermore, you look at another example of this in the Los Angeles Rams. Anybody know what the Los Angeles Rams did? They damn near traded everything they had because they had who as the greatest, one of the greatest, and arguably the greatest defensive lineman of all time. Anybody want to take a guess on who that guy is? Mm-hmm. Blizz, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Los Angeles. All these three of those teams had one thing in common, and they had great defenses. They had good defenses. Would anybody truthfully say the Atlanta Falcons have a good defense? Doesn't even have to be great. Do they have a good defense? Only in our dream. Yes, good. Yeah, just like I said, just good. That's like I said. That's the problem. All these teams you look at for the Atlanta Falcons, the Falcons are trying to get to a point where they're consistently a good team. Do we have good players? Absolutely. Is this team anything over top 15? You in 15 or top is considered to be a good defense. Okay, anything 15 or higher, you're considered to be a top defense. So I don't think anybody would say as of yet, as of now, the Falcons have a top or a good defense. They're about average. Let's keep that real. We have spouts where we play well. We have spouts where we play, you know, bad. But this team is getting better. So the Falcons aren't there yet. So if the defense isn't there, why would we trade all of our assets to get a quarterback that won't help us be balanced? That's the issue. All these teams that we're using to say, well, this team went all out. Yeah, that team went all out because they had great defenses and they had great players. They had good defenses and they had good players at the very least. But somehow the Falcons are selling for mediocrity because guess what? They're not going out and trading all their assets, all their draft picks, and signing these high price free agents that may not even be worth a damn. And even if they be worth a damn, who knows if these guys are going to stay healthy? So you got to weigh the options when it comes down to these trades. A lot of people just saying it's like, all right, we need to get these guys. We need to have these damn. We need to just go out and get Jesse Bates. We need to go and just give all the money away for a Deron Payne. That'll show the fans that that we're trying to win. Well, that's all cute and all, but anybody ever thought of this? What if they get hurt? Yeah, the scenarios that everybody try to ignore Yeah. What if they get hurt? Where do the Falcons go if they sign to run? Let's just make a scenario. Let's come up with a scenario and just say the Falcons find a way to get Deron Payne and Jesse Bates in free agency. Deron Payne is making about 18, 17, 18 million dollars a year. Jesse Bates is making about 12 million a year at safety. Let's just say we sign both of these guys. We get both of these guys, and then it so happens that these guys end up getting hurt. Jesse Bates get hurt, Deron Payne get hurt because it can happen. We seen it happen for the 49ers. We seen it happen to many teams where their best players end up getting hurt. So this is not a scenario that's not impossible. We've seen it before. We had 5 starters and what I think it was 18, where 5 of our starters, 4 or 5 of our starters end up getting hurt on defense alone. So what happens if Deron Payne and Jesse Bates get hurt? Are the Atlanta Falcons a team that can bounce back from losing those guys? What do the Falcons do if those guys end up getting hurt? Do you think this Falcons team is good enough to win games with a Deron Payne and a Jesse Bates with no assets? Because more than likely, you're going to spend a lot of money on these guys. Do you think the Atlanta Falcons can still survive with both those guys being hurt? That's football. Anyone can get hurt. Not a concern for me at all. Get the players in. See, that's the see, Anthony. I love you, bro, but that's a stupid fucking mentality. You know why it's a stupid mentality? I'm gonna tell you right now. Let's say you get your income tax. Let's just say you get your taxes. I'm gonna give you a real life scenario. Let's say you get all your taxes. You get your shit back, and then you have 3 months. I just say you have an opportunity to be 3 months ahead. You got an opportunity to pay 3 months in mortgage, 3 months in rent, whichever you pay. You haven't eaten. You got other bills that need to be caught up, but you decide, well, I want to get caught up on my rent. Utilities need to be paid. You need to eat. Your kids need clothes. They need school shoes. Some of them getting bigger, and if anything like my family, they big as hell. So you know your kids gonna grow. So what happens if you spend most of your income tax all on your rent? You got nothing left. The 5,000 that you got in income tax, yeah, that's about 1,500. 12 to 1,500 is about average here in Atlanta. So you just paid 1,500, 1,500, 1,500, about 4,000, and now you got like a what? Maybe $500 left. Everybody got to eat. You got bills to pay, all that type of stuff. Well, the lights gonna be cut off, Pimpin'. How you gonna pay the internet bill? How you gonna pay the cell phone bill? All that type of shit. Now you got to get right back to struggle. Yeah, you got a house, but everything in that motherfucker cut off. You ain't got no food and all that type of stuff. Like, no, 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 we're not gonna play. Oh, he not saying no. That's stupid. It's still a stupid statement. Why? Because y'all want to go out and get the players and don't think about the consequences behind those things. These are the things the general manager have to wait. You can't just go out and sign guys and not have a backup plan. Because, like he said, anything can happen in the league. And if anything happens, how are you going to? And the Falcons are not in a position where they can give away draft picks. They don't have depth. And they still got to sign 28 to 30 players that's going to be a free agents this year. But we got guys like Anthony who's saying we need to go get these guys regardless. He's not. Look, see. This is. Let me read this comment. This is the problem that we have. This is the problem that we have. People don't think. He's not saying don't spend the money. He's saying not to spend the money on two people when you. That's not what he said though. He said you need to go out and make these splashes. You can have a backup plan, but it's the GM's job to draft and sign the best players possible. You can do both. It's not a zero. Absolutely, you cannot do both. See, you thinking it's just two things. See, this is where a lot of these just fans in general think it's just two things. Oh, I have to draft guys. No, you have to plan the roster properly first. That is the reason why the free agency is first and not the draft. Anybody want to take a wild guess on why the free agency is first and not the draft? And Dame, they were talking about. You don't spend all your money in one stop. People think it's just. This is why you have right after the season. There's a period called, waiver period where you can sign guys for future deals. Anybody want to know what that is? It's a process. You're filling these rosters. You filling these roster spots to get guys in, to have a depth on the roster, to have backup plans. So it begins with the future. Everybody think it's just the draft. Oh, it's just free agency. No. Anybody know a couple of $100,000? Let's say you got 10 players at $100,000. That's $5 million. That's just 10 players. $5 million at $500,000. Yeah, that's about 10. That's 10 players making. Yeah, that's about $5 million. You still got a whole. You still got a whole 30, 40 other players to fill the roster. To fill the roster. And if you get all most of that money to a Deron Payne, who's making 20 million, that 60 million that the Falcons got goes to, guess what? 40. And then you bring in a Jesse Bates, who's going to be making about 13 to 15 million dollars himself. That goes down to even more. That goes down to less than 30 million, or about 30 million. And then you got 10 players. Let's just say 10 players, $5 million, and then that you got 12 million. And those are just two players that you sign. And the veteran minimum in the league is about 2 to 3 million. About 2 to 5 million is the veteran minimum. So what that means, the Falcons will have to go sign a bunch of young players. If they want to get under the cap and have enough players, they can't sign veteran players because veteran players are gonna cost money because they've earned the right to get such with experience. So in the football bylaws, you have to pay a guy who's been in the league for 5+ years or at least 3 years. You got to get these guys anything over $1 million and $2 million. million. 'Cause- 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 ' This is the reason why we're saying you gotta going out and signing the guys, sounding all cute and all, but you gotta be real. You gotta be real. This is one of the reasons why the Falcons got Felipe Franks as an athlete. He's an athlete. That's why they got him playing tight end. They got him playing, quarterback, doing all these things because you need bodies. They signed Felipe Franks to like a 4-year deal as an undrafted free agent. Anybody know why they would do that? The same thing with Jerry Bernhardt. They signed him to like a 3-4 year deal as an undrafted free agent. Why would the Falcons do those types of things? Because if money becomes the issue, you already got these guys under contract. And if these guys get better as a player, you still got this guy really cheap. You got these guys really cheap if these guys end up blowing up. So not only do you have a Jared Bernhardt who don't call what, let's just say Jared Bernhardt end up catching 80 passes for 800 yards in a season. This dude making about $600,000 a damn year. That's a fucking steal. That's a steal. Versus going out paying a guy like, guess who? Odell Beckham, being that he's a veteran, he gonna garner you at least $5 million. At the very least $5 million. He's gonna garner about $5 million at the very least. But a guy like Jared Bernhardt who can put up those same numbers, if he can put up those same numbers, you got him for 100,000, 300, let's just say $500,000 for 3 years in a row. You got him for 4 years for let's just say $500,000 for a total of $2 million, $3 million. It sounds all cute and all when we talk about going out and just going all out for guys, but you got to have a plan, bro, because some shit might go away. I mean, we don't like. Let's just keep it real. When it comes down to our own personal jobs, bro, if we lose our jobs, what are you gonna do next? Let's just say somebody right now, y'all depend on that check every damn 2 weeks, every week. Can you guys afford to have 1 week, let's just say 1 month, where you don't get that check? You got fired and you can't find a new job, but it's gonna take you another 2-3 weeks to find another job. Can you guys afford to miss one damn check? In my opinion, if you depending on the draft to solidify your team and let the free agent opportunity slip, you in trouble. I I love you, bro, but that's another foolish statement. Every team is built on the draft. See, this is the stuff that we talk about. This is the stuff that we talk about that you gotta think things through. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask y'all this question. Which free agent this year was the difference in getting the team to a Super Bowl? I'll wait. I'll wait for it. If you can point out one free agent across the NFL that said he was the difference in getting his team to the Super Bowl, I'll say I'm wrong. One player that you could say he went to this team and he won several awards. He was the highest He was in top 5 in sacks. He was top 5 in interception. He was top 5 in quarterback rating, all that type of stuff. Because a guy you got in free agency. Okay. I'm waiting. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for you guys. Because if you look at Seattle, can you say that going in free agency was a difference? You know, getting a Geno. I mean, Geno was already there. He was in free agency. So was Geno the difference? Free agency, let's just say the 49ers. Who did the 49ers get in free agency? Yeah, come on, come on. I want answers. I want answers, people. Come on, give me the answers. Man might need the answers. I'm waiting. Everybody's saying that the Falcons have to go in free agency and get these players. Name me a player in free agency right now that was the difference. Name me a player in 2002 that was the difference in helping their team get to a Super Bowl. I'm waiting. But somehow, this principle lies only for the Atlanta Falcons. Comments going real slow right about now. The comments are going real slow. AJ Brown both traded. Trade pimp. Move before the draft, be free agency. What I meant was the moves before the draft in free agency. No, that's not necessarily true. That's partly. We're talking about spending money. So we're gonna be on context. What we're talking about is getting high impact players. The free agency always tells what you're gonna do in the draft. Free agency is the foundation. This is what we gotta understand. All right. Free agency and the roster in itself is the foundation. The foundation, the reason why the Atlanta Falcons were able to draft Kyle Pitts is because we already had talent on the offensive line. We had talent on the defensive line. We had a talent on the defensive line and Grady Jarrett. So we can make exceptions when it came down to certain things. We were able to go out and draft a wide receiver slash tight end and Kyle Pitts. Why? Because we had Jake Matthews, we had Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry. Like we had pieces on the offensive line. Had we not had those guys, do you guys think that we would have drafted Kyle Pitts? And at that time, when we drafted Kyle Pitts, we had Matt Ryan. So we could forego the opportunity to draft a quarterback. So free agency is nothing more than a foundation. So based on the roster that you have, these guys who are not stars, these are the guys are typically the ones going to be the punt returner, the third string left guard, the second string right guard, the backup tight end, a backup to a guy like Tyler Argier. Like that's what free agency is about. Very seldom you're gonna find a guy in free agency that's gonna be an Alex Mack. Very seldom are you gonna find a guy in free agency that's gonna be an Alex Mack. And Alex Mack, when we got Alex Mack, they thought he was on the decline. which he was, but he still had a few good years in him. So I think the misconception is people think that free agency is where you're going to get a ton of great players. Not going to get a ton of great players in free agency. Now you can make a trade for a guy, and that guy end up being the piece. But like you talking about free agency, very seldom you're gonna find guys that's gonna work out in free agency. Most of the time, I can say honestly, about 65% of the time, the guys that you bring in free agency, they have minimal impact on the team. So it's but like I said, it's what you're saying. There is partly true, but for the most part, the foundation is built in free agency. That's why you have when you have these damn expansion drafts, they say you can go back to um, when Jacksonville end up was the first when they everybody had to get a piece of every franchise, and most of those guys were pretty much veteran guys that you get off the expansion drafts. So they're a piece of it. They are the foundation. So that's why most teams like the Atlanta Falcons, if they want superstar players, they go to the draft to get superstar players and big time players. These guys are going to be at the forefront of the organization. But free agency, these guys are going to be assets. And what I mean by assets, it's going to help, it's going to be an asset to Grady Jarrett. A guy that's going to come in, he's going to play for X amount of dollars until we develop this guy, and he's going to be an asset to the team, rather a main piece. This is why guys like Casey Hayward is important. Coming in, you sign a guy like Casey Hayward. Why? Because he's going to come in and be an asset to the team. You're not asking Casey Hayward to come in and be an all pro. If he should be an all pro, then it's all good. But most times, oftentimes, most of the guys that we think going into free agency is going to pan out, they fail. Not saying it's going to be the case for Deron Payne, because I think he's going to be a good one. But ask yourself this question: why is Washington allowing Deron Payne to just go free? And I don't know if this is the case, but they haven't put a franchise tag on him. Why are the Cincinnati Bengals putting a franchise tag on Jesse Bates? Why are they allowing these guys to walk scot free? Cincinnati saw real fast on why the Atlanta Falcons end up cutting Ricardo Allen. Cincinnati saw real fast on why the Atlanta Falcons released Ricardo Allen. This dude was a starter for the Falcons, ended up being a special team guy for them when he went there. Everybody thought the Falcons were pretty much stupid for letting him go. He's a good safety. He still got, and then when he went there, yeah, the dude couldn't even make second string. Dude was on special teams. So you read a story about tag and trade. Like I said, I think that I would think about that. I'll honestly think about a tag and trade, but I'm not signing him to no. Especially this year, if we can find a way to like get him under $15 million, I love that for Deron Payne. And maybe I'll give up, you know, a third this year, a fifth this year, a first next year, and probably like a fifth. Throw in a sixth or a seventh pick on that. I'll think about bringing Deron Payne in. Think about it. Because the Falcons are in a position right now is that they're not a quarterback away. They're not a single player away from winning the championship. The Falcons are not a single player away from winning the championship. I'm gonna say it again. The Falcons team is not a single player and probably not two players away from winning the championship. The Falcons they need depth on both sides of the ball because a lot of people are not focused on the fact that if we lose Caleb McGarry, guess who might be the right tackle for the Atlanta Falcons? If the Falcons lose Caleb McGarry, guess who's going to be the right tackle for the Atlanta Falcons? If we lose Caleb McGarry, I got you, Nate. Jalen Mayfield. Yep, it's his second year, so we got 2 years to figure out if he's good or not. In which, my opinion, I think the Falcons are going to draft a tackle. I believe the Falcons are going to draft a tackle. How early? I don't know, but I think the Falcons are going to draft a tackle. They got to have a backup plan for that for Caleb McGarry. Now, if they believe that Caleb McGarry is going to come back and he's going to give a team friendly deal, I'm not sure. But like, I'm not certain that Jalen Mayfield is the answer. So I'm drafting a tackle. Where it's the first, second, or third, I'm taking the tackle. One of those rounds, I'm taking the tackle. Especially if you can't re-sign Caleb McGarry. That's one hole for the Atlanta Falcons. The second, nobody know who the hell the second wide receiver is for this team. Nobody knows who the second receiver is for this team. The Falcons are down to like 3 wide receivers on the roster. I think they got like 3 or 4 wide receivers on the roster. Yeah, tight end. He's a tight end. Kyle Pitts is a tight end. Michael Pruitt. So the Falcons are down to like 3 or 4 wide receivers. So the Falcons have to fill that position. Furthermore, running back position. We're down to 2 running backs. Yeah, we're down to 2 running backs for the most part. Experienced running backs. We got Cordell Patterson, who he could hit that wall at any given time. We don't know. But we got Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson. There's no certainty that Caleb Huntley is going to come back healthy. Damian Williams is going to be a free agent. They got, a few guys at the future, but we may be looking for another backup or running back. And I know a lot of people think Bijan Robinson, he's a guy. I don't think that at all. It's way too high for a running back. But the Falcons got to look for a backup running back on top of it. Because if Tyler Algier go down, who we got? We got CP. Can we count on CP to carry the load for a couple of games? Absolutely. But he's up there in age, and we've seen the last few years he's had some injuries and he's slowed down towards the end of the year. So that tells me that the Falcons they must Go after a younger running back. So that's another draft pick you gotta give away, or money in free agency that you gotta think about. Then you gotta look at tight end. Kyle Pitts have already gotten hurt. Kyle Pitts is already coming back from a serious knee injury that needed surgery. So that's another position that you really have to think about. Well, if Kyle Pitts get hurt again, who's going to be that guy for Desmond or whoever quarterback? So that's more money, more money, more money off. Furthermore, what happens if Chris Lindstrom gets hurt? We fucked. We're absolutely fucked if Chris Lindstrom get hurt. Because guess what? That leaves Drew Dalman in the middle by himself with an inexperienced guard. Because we have a hole at left guard. Center is an absolute mess. And then if Chris Lindstrom isn't there, that's a major problem. So now you forego the opportunity, or you pretty much ruin the opportunity to rebuild your offensive line if one of those guys go down. Why? Because you gave Deron Payne and Jesse Bates $20 million. You gave them about $30-40 million for that. See, this is the reason why a lot of these moves, they sound all good, but this is why you get paid the big bucks as a general manager, because you can't think one way. You have to think about what if this happens. You gotta plan properly, and this is what happens with teams that don't plan properly. Teams that don't plan properly end up like the Rams. The Rams, yeah, they won a Super Bowl, but this team's an absolute mess right now. Bro, they didn't even make the playoffs. They struggled. Because if Aaron Donald go down, yeah, that team is a mess. If Cooper Kupp goes down, yeah, that team is a mess. Gotta have a backup plan for your backup plan. Can't just go out here and just, oh, I'm gonna get all these guys and just hope everybody ends up getting stay healthy. You're just hoping everybody stays healthy. But you gotta think about it, and this is where the coaches make the big bucks. Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons run game is gonna be, you know, the center of everything, but like for the most part, you gotta have them wide receivers and them tight ends end up, progressing. You gotta, improve your wide receiver. You gotta improve your tight ends. You gotta improve their running back, their offensive line. Why? Because if somebody get hurt, one of our main guys get hurt, yeah, you got to be able to adjust your game plan. We've seen freak accident where we had all three running backs and all three wide receivers go down. We've seen where we've had, we were down to like Cornell Armstrong at cornerback because we had like 3 or 4 guys at cornerback hurt. Yeah, I did see Big J Baylor. I'm kind of high on him. I think he's gonna be a pleasant surprise. I think the Falcons gonna kind of use him like they did Caleb. Be one of them backs that they spare Tyler Algier and all that CP. So I think he's gonna be one of those guys for us. So it's not so much, like these are the reasons why we say like I'm all good for bringing these guys in, but bro, we got problems. We can't afford to lose a Grady Jarrett. The Falcons can't afford to lose Chris Lindstrom. Falcons can't afford to lose right now Caleb McGarry. That's how critical this offensive line is right now. So we have to have depth. So basically, we need our cap money and our draft picks for our team not to spend 70%. Right. So, like I said, it's not so much that it's 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 a you don't want to do that. At some point in time, going out and just like, all right, we need to go for the gusto. It's a time and a place to go for the gusto. You know what I'm saying? The Falcons right now, as it stands right now, are not in a position where they can go for the gusto and it be a smart way. If they go for the gusto, the Falcons are screwed for the next 4 years. The Falcons are screwed for the next 4 years. Yeah, they're screwed for the next 4 years if they sit up there and go for the gusto. And I think that's what a lot of people are not really focusing on. They not focusing on the fact that these guys, if they end up if they end up, going all out spending $30 million, and then let's just say for whatever reason, Deron Payne has a nagging injury and he only played like 5 games in the system. Was that well worth the money? Yeah, we were super aggressive. Yeah, we were super aggressive. But things like these things matter. These are the things that you have to you think about. As a parent, you know what I'm saying? When you go grocery shopping, you got to say to yourself, like, how long this last? Yeah, I want this goddamn chocolate, this chocolate bar. Oh, yeah, I want to fix tacos tonight, but is it going to feed the entire family? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I want the lobster. It's like, yeah, you eating lobster, but your kids going to be eating damn noodles and shit. Like, these are the things, that's essentially what going out and spending all this money is. You eating lobster, but everybody else in the house eating good bullshit. And then they gonna be looking at you like, bruh, you feed me this shit, but you up here eating lobster and shrimp and steak and shit. Come on, bruh. This is what going after these guys and spending all this money on one player, two players is essentially like. You gotta spread it around. You gotta have a backup for a backup. Cause I be damn somebody feed me noodles when they asses up here eating steak. I snatch that shit out their hands. Yeah, we gonna be fighting over that goddamn steak. If I gotta eat noodles, kid, I don't want no more damn spaghetti, bro. Bro, that if you boy that right there is the definition of a true. I wouldn't say struggle bill. They eating good and they keep feeding our ass spaghetti every goddamn day. Every 2 3 days we eating spaghetti. I'm tired of goddamn spaghetti. What's the point of spending all your food stamps on seafood for a night when you can get groceries for the whole month? And that's essentially what we're saying. So it's like I know we hurting a lot of people's feelings when we say it's not smart or we're not down for going out and spending money, all our money on the Run Payne and the Jesse Bates. Because bro, if those for whatever reason those guys don't pan out, boy, we screwed. We looking at right now. Baltimore. That man making about a good $30 million a year, and Lamar Jackson, and he ended up hurt most of the year. The last couple of years, this dude been hurt. Bro, you ain't even here every day. It's just like your drunk ass stepdaddy coming home. He been over his side chick home for the last 3 days and then come home try to tell you what to do. Motherfucker, you don't get out of my damn face. That's exactly what Baltimore doing. Well, you get the fuck out of my face. You ain't even been here for 3 days. You don't step in on the damn side they trying to tell me, bro. Oh, no, bro. Homeless with platinum teeth. Oh boy, y'all wild. So that's why Baltimore is really going out their way to really look at this contract. It's not that they don't want him, but it's not worth it for what he's asking. Now they got a problem with Patrick Queen, linebacker there, because they gave all the money to guess who? That new shiny toy on defense, Roquan Smith. Now Patrick Queen looking at them like, bro, I've been here grinding my ass off, and you just come here and get this dude all this money. Come on, bro. Patrick Queen looking like them, like, bro, what my damn money at? I've been up here damn grinding and working my ass off. This dude been here for 1 million for 1 year, and you give him $100 million? Oh hell no! Oh hell no! So it's like these are the things. It's a trickle effect. I'm telling y'all, bro, it's a trickle effect. You got to be ready because players get. This is another thing too. What if Deron Payne come in here and he ain't been here grinding, and then he end up start making more money than Grady Jarrett? Y'all didn't think about that, did you? Let me say this again. What if Deron Payne come in here, made 20-something million a year, and then Grady Jarrett, who been in here grinding, he start making more money than Grady, and then Grady looking at him, bro, I'm putting in work. I'm taking all these double teams and triple teams and shit, and this dude coming here after 1 year making more money than me. Yeah, players think about shit like that. They be looking at you like, bro, I've been grinding. Players gonna be looking at other players' money. Players gonna be looking at other players on the team. If you ain't put in work, bro, yeah, they gonna get it. They gonna start feeling some type of way. Norman, that's exactly where I was going. You read my mind, brother. That's exactly why Julio wanted another deal, because he was watching everybody else deal. Players watch other players. So as an organization, you got to be real careful about the contract that you give out. That's the reason why Bill Belichick, he traded away. He ended up allowing Tom Brady to walk. Why? Because he didn't want to set a precedent where he has a favorite. Shit, we ain't paying Tom Brady this money. We don't get Tom Brady this power. Why think you gonna get this power? How many players have the Patriots have let walk that we thought was Chandler Jones? Like, we done seen that shit happen time and time before. Where these guys have good years and they ask for more money, and then the Patriots looking at them like, bro, no, we not giving you this shit, bye. Players be watching other players' money, bro. Because like I said, we end up bringing in Deron Payne, and then Deron Payne start benefiting from Grady Jarrett's double teams. Grady Jarrett looking at him like, motherfucker, you ain't getting double team over here. Bitch, I am. You up here getting single coverage. You getting sacked because I'm getting double team, and you making more money than me? Oh, hell no. So you got to fight within the, like, they're not going to say it, but you can feel that energy. We can feel that energy when it comes down to certain. And then you got motherfuckers like Julio Jones who be looking at these, listening to these goofy motherfuckers in the media who say to themselves, Julio, why the hell you gonna take a pay cut? Michael Thomas, Slant Thomas is out here making $20 million. You only getting paid 17. Julio, what's wrong with you? Guess what? Julio Jones proceeds to hold out because he was jealous of everybody else. Players watch players' contracts. I'm telling y'all, players watch players' contracts. So you got to be real careful about what you allow as an organization and the types of contracts that you give out. Because let's just be honest. If a player knows that they can get that bag over there, trust me, everybody gonna be going over there. Tony Rose, how you doing, brother? ATL in, y'all skate night. Spence Smart, Darvin Tomlinson, Jamil, Dean, Davion Clowney, Jacoby Brissett, Brian Branch from Bama. You know what I'm saying? I would rather spend my money the smart way and have depth, and then you focus on the draft and bringing in these superstars. Like I said, the superstar superstars of the team, superstars are always drafted. Okay, very seldom that you see a guy that they traded for they end up being a star of a team. We saw it with Jake Matthews, see it with AJ Terrell, we see it with Grady Jarrett. Uh, like most of the guys for the Saints, Marcus Colston was with the exception. Um, but you see Alvin Kamara, like most of that team was drafted by those guys. Like very seldom do you have a guy come in from in free agency that's end up being the difference of a team or being the best player of that team. Like you don't see a lot of cases with Drew Brees. You know, Drew Brees will end up, yeah, he was a pretty good quarterback. He was a good quarterback when he played, but like nobody would have foreseen or would have foresaw him becoming a Hall of Fame quarterback when he was with the Chargers. It's like nobody would have seen that shit. That Drew Brees, like, yeah, he was a good quarterback, but nobody would have thought he would have been that. Again, it's not many cases where guys have been signed in free agency and they end up being superstars. And they end up being like everybody who these teams, all the best players, all the best players are mostly drafted. Aaron Rodgers, Deion Sanders, I can keep going on. Even with Shannon Sharp, Sterling Sharp, Andre Reed, Jerry Rice, T.O., like all these guys were drafted. They drafted these guys. They didn't get these guys in free agency. And these are the things that we focus on. These are the things that even Terry Fontenot knows. Like most of these guys are telling you this. I'm not making all this stuff up. You can do the research yourself. Most all of the great players, most all the great players that have been drafted on a team have all been drafted by that team. I can say about 80% of the players that we see as superstars have been drafted by that team. They molded him into something. Yeah, I remember that. They tried, boy, they were hyping the hell out of Jeff Garcia. They thought they goddamn legend at quarterback. Woo, boy, did they get wrong. Woo, that was bad. Yeah, Jadavion Clowney was linked to the Falcons, but I think they I believe they met with him, but there's something about him didn't sit right. It may have been injuries or something. Check out Arizona's story today. They gave a huge contract to Kyler Murray, and now they cannot sign any key players this year. Yeah, it causes major problems when you give out these big contracts. It's like a tidal wave, bro. It's like a you get a big ass stone. Yeah, but drop the damn stone in the damn off in the water. It goes in soft, but when that bitch goes, when it go finally get in there, all the water splashes. Like I said, it's just a freaking wave. It goes up. Looks good going down. Look calm going down, but soon that bad hit and go in the ocean, the water, the ripple effect. Yeah, you get all that. You get all that shit. So, like I said before, it's like I think it's all cute and all for the Falcons to be linked in these stories. No, it's very entertaining, especially for us in the off season. Gives us something to talk about, especially as creators. I appreciate it. I don't really need it. I can come up with shit up just like y'all know how we do. We can make anything. We got topics galore over here. But the only thing I'll say this, the only thing that makes any inkling of sense when it comes down to this um scenario with these quarterbacks, the only thing that makes any sense is Daniel Jones coming to the Falcons as a backup. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Doesn't make sense to draft Bryce Young. He's too damn little to play in this offense. Way too small to play in this offense. That's number one. CJ Stroud, I just don't like his accuracy as a quarterback is extremely bothersome, and he does not uh, react well to pressure. CJ Stroud does not react well to pressure. Um, Anthony Richardson, yeah, he has a big arm, but he's a bro. That accuracy is a damn problem, and I don't know how smart he is as a quarterback. It's like he doesn't react well to pressure. He tends to just focus on running when he's under pressure, and that's like I said, if you're in the NFL, what's up, John? How you doing, bro? Because like most of these, like I said, most of like I said, man, I say this time and time again, and like I said, you can go down. I mean, we've done it time and time again. How many times have you heard me and K Styles going down the list of free agents that the Falcons have signed, and these guys have been absolute busts? Do we have to do a show tonight where we do a list of the free agents, not only for the Falcons but the whole NFC South, or how many times these guys have not panned out for that team? Do you guys think the Rams are regretting trading for Miss Thing? Oh, y'all know who Miss Thing is? Jalen Ramsey. Y'all don't think the Rams are regretting trading for Miss Thing over there? They gave him $100 million and he don't even look like a top corner. Free agents never do good anywhere. It's like I said, it's not just conducive to the Falcons. It just doesn't relate to the Falcons. It relates all around the league. Most of the players that we've seen have been drafted by these guys. Michael Gallup for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, Zeke, like all these Zach Martin, all those guys, DeMarcus Lawrence, all these guys were drafted by them. 49ers, you know what I'm saying? Like most of those guys on the team been drafted by them. Kittle, Debo, like we can keep going on and on and on. These guys were drafted by them. They didn't sign these guys in free agency. Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? They offensive line drafted. They running backs, with the exception of um dang it. But yeah, most of these guys was like I said. Yeah, most of these guys, y'all know that man sassy. That man sassy as hell. You can look at him. That man be rolling his eyes and everything. So yeah, damn, like they definitely regretting Cincinnati Bengals defense. Look at Cincinnati Bengals defense in 2021 when they went to the Super Bowl. They revamped their defense and signed the free agents. DJ Reader, like I said, it's very. It's like if you look at the essence of that team, they weren't successful because of that defense. Okay, I love when people bring it up. Yeah, those guys are brought, but those guys weren't mega stars. Henderson wasn't a mega star. He wasn't a top free agent in that year. DJ Reader, yeah, he was a solid backup. He developed into what he was. We know Eli Apple is ass, but like I said, like if you look at most of those guys, like Henderson was a pretty good. Like I said, he was pretty good. It's like those guys are good, but you wouldn't gonna spend $50 million on no Henderson, would you? Anybody think they're gonna spend 40, $50 million on Henderson at the end for the Bengals? Would you spend 40, $50 million on DJ Reader? It's like, let's be real. Those guys turned into that. They got in the scheme, but Cincinnati didn't go out and spend their whole check on those guys. That like you looking at the success stories, but they didn't spend all their money. They didn't spend a lot of money on those guys. They barely spend a couple bucks on them. I think they, but DJ Reader, if I'm not mistaken, let me see. I know they paid. I know they paid Hendricks. I know they paid him money. DJ. Look at his contract, DJ Reader. But I'm not. I'm not. I'm positive. Looking at DJ Reader, yeah, he got a 4 year, $50 million contract. What about? He just signed it. Hold on, that's 2021 when he signed that. Mm-mm-mm-mm. But yeah, like I said, a lot of those, like I said, a lot of those cases, that typically doesn't. Yeah, that typically doesn't happen. Where you see guys, you know, sign these big mega contracts and they pan out for them. So yeah, it's like I said, it very seldom works. It very seldom happens when it come down to those these guys that end up. But like I said, like as far as DJ Reader, is he someone that you guys think? Yeah, so he played 3, 4 years in Houston. What I thought, yeah, yeah, he played 3, 4 years in Houston, and then he ended up getting it. So, like I said, like these guys, you very have a situation where these guys pan out in free agency. There's always those out. Yeah, it's always out there years where you have these guys that pan out. DJ Reader, like good one, Hennessy a good one, Cincinnati, but the true essence of that Cincinnati team is balance. They spend all their assets. They pretty much spend all their assets. They pretty much, if you look at Cincinnati, they really at that point in time, that was a last. That was kind of a last ditch effort to really go out and because they I think they at that point too. I think they fired their head coach. They was in a rebuilding, uh, and then they signed Henderson. They signed because they had a young core on the offense, and they had to have a veteran defensive line. So, like I said, those are very seldom that you see that. But like, if you look at how even the Bills, for example, like they built their team, the center of their team, the center of the defense, the center of the offense, they drafted these guys. So yeah, like I said, yeah, you see these times where you bring these guys in there, and they'd be an asset to the team, but like that defense, that offense is centered around, excuse me, around those players. BJ Hill got $30 million. Yeah, I wouldn't have given DJ Reader or BJ Hill $30 million. That's about $10 million a year. Like I rather like to be honest, I would rather draft my guy than pay that much money. Like I'm not sure if I'm paying the guy over $20 million a year, especially in free agency. They spent money on, like I said, they spent money on the O line, but they weren't quality players though, and we see that O line. They spent money on that O line, and it didn't work out well. And like I said, that's like I said, that's the thing. Whew, that's a lot of money, man. Yeah, Chuck need a hug. He trying to. I don't know what crack he on. I guess he's smoking that crack was sprinkled with cinnamon on it. You know, sprinkle some cinnamon on that crack he's smoking. Bijan Robinson with an eight overall pick. Man, you don't get out of here. Look, David Mugaleto, whatever the hell his name is, Mugaleto, whatever his name, he pretty much represent a lot of players in the NFL. So to see players associated with him is not, you know, most of the stars in the NFL, especially, are being are being represented by him. So like I said, that's not anything new. But like I said, man, at the end of the day, like I said, I mean, I think we've already done a show like that where we the quickest way to get to a Super Bowl. It's like it's not. It's the thing is the blueprint has been there. Every coach has stated how you get to a Super Bowl. Like we can break it down, but offensive, defensive, it all stands stand. It all begins in the trenches. That doesn't mean you can't draft a wide receiver first or draft a quarterback or um, draft a defensive end, was like or a corner. I mean, but it starts in the trenches. Like if you're gonna start with a quarterback, let's just say, all right, we're gonna, we're gonna start a team from the ground. Of course, for the most part, depending on who you are, you're gonna start with a quarterback first. But if you're gonna start with a quarterback first versus the defensive end or a cornerback, I just say a cornerback and a quarterback. Like if you're gonna start with a quarterback, obviously you got to get. If I'm gonna draft a quarterback, I'm gonna get me an offensive lineman that can block for him, and then I'm gonna get a wide receiver. But I'm gonna spend most of that if I'm starting with a quarterback. I'm focusing on the trenches because you can get a wide receiver if you got a good quarterback. Let's just say for Matt Ryan or Tom Brady, these guys are gonna make you know third round picks look great. They're gonna make third round wide receivers look great. So you don't have to spend all your assets on getting drafting a wide receiver with your first round or even second or third. You can get good wide receivers in the fourth. But I'm starting with the trenches, and that's how you start. Like that's really how you build a team. You start with the trenches. You neglect the trenches, you're gonna always struggle. You're gonna always struggle to get to a Super Bowl if you don't build in the trenches. The trenches will always come back to hunt you if you make it to the Super Bowl or even get to it. If you neglect the trenches, we've seen that what happened this year. We've seen it this year. We've seen it with the Falcons year after year, where we neglected the trenches, and then when good teams come, guess what? We're unable to get pressure. We can't protect somebody. So it always starts in the trenches. That's really how you build a team. Got to start with the trenches. Got to be able to protect the quarterback, and you got to be able to get after the quarterback. That's essentially how you build a team. Anybody tell you anything other than that, they're fucking lying. They don't know what they talking about. You win the games in the trenches. You lose games in the trenches. Got to be able to build from that. Yeah, look, I'm gonna burn this bitch down. All right, you gonna see me on goddamn Fox 5 News burning that goddamn Capitol down. We draft some fucking Bijan Robinson at 8. I'm gonna burn this bitch. Nah, I'm just playing. Good God, some people probably take that seriously. Say it, but no. If we take some damn Bijan Robinson, a running back, bro, come on. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be looking at. Arthur, like, bro, what the hell are you thinking? Yeah, like I said, the trenches, the trenches travel well. Like at the end of the day, bro, like it's about winning that one-on-one battle. You can't win that one-on-one battle. Mm, you can't win championships. That's what happened to Eagles. They couldn't get after the quarterback, and that's why they lost. But like I said, man, this was more so about, and this live was just mostly about. Like I said, we're gonna expand. As a matter of fact, I gotta go holler at K Style so we can kind of get the idea. We might maybe talking about the XFL tonight. So you guys stay tuned for that. 8 o'clock, Cooler Talks. We're gonna be talking about. I know for sure we're gonna be talking about the XFL and what you guys think about that. So stay tuned for that. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Okay, hit the subscribe button. I love that you guys view, but it means more if you subscribe. If you don't like subscribe because you don't like get the notifications, you have the opportunity to not only hit the subscribe button, but you can navigate the system and choose not to get notifications if it bothers you. So please hit the subscribe button on everyone's channel. The subscribe button means more than views. We love that you guys and we appreciate you viewing, but please hit that subscribe button. Oh, hell, look, he probably sleep right now. I'm about to call him and wake his ass up. It's usually for his show. For whatever reason, he always falls asleep on his show. Yeah, like I said, man. At the end of the day, don't pay. And I got my boy Retro. He actually asked me a question earlier today. It's like everybody keep all these media outlets keep pointing the finger at Atlanta and quarterbacks. Or is there anything to them? I don't think there's anything to it at all. Like even when Matt Ryan was here, they was always putting the Falcons in the mix for, oh, when we gonna replace Matt Ryan. So that for whatever reason, the media wants the Falcons to draft a certain style of quarterback, and I think we've exhausted that conversation. I think we know exactly what we're talking about when I say that. But I think the media wants us to have a certain style of quarterback. And until we have that, they're going to continue to put out bullshit narratives. They're going to continue to put out bullshit articles. And guys like D Led, who don't stand for anything but his damn dollar, his paycheck, he don't stand for shit, and I stand by what I just said. D-Led don't stand for anything because if he stood for anything, he would be writing articles to get Jesse Tuggle into the Hall of Fame. He's not doing that. So the hell with D-Led and to hell with Jeff Schultz. Them dudes need to sit up there and lead a crusade to get Jesse Tuggle in the fucking Hall of Fame. They're fucking disgusting because they have not led the crusade. How can you say as a journalist in Atlanta covering the Atlanta Falcons and you look at any of those guys interface, but you won't write an article to get Jesse Tuggle into the Hall of Fame. You won't even mention the fact that he doesn't even get the respect. So the hell with D-Led, to hell with Jeff Schultz. These guys, until they do right by our Atlanta Falcons players, fuck them and fuck them all. That's all I got to say about that. I'm out of here, man. Peace. Join us tonight, Six Man K Styles, Jew Talk Sports. Maybe see Drew. Maybe see Jew. Maybe see Jew. We'll see. We'll see. But we probably have a couple of guys on AFN crew on the night too. Um, we'll see how we feel about letting people on. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But join us tonight, man. Cooler talks, Six Man K style, man. Mike, I'm out of here, man. The villains, the villains.